Today, you'll hear the journey of a girl who thought she was lost, but found her way back to the love that never left her. My name is Amelia. I am 25 years old now, but this story happened many years ago. It is not a happy story, but it is mine. I want to share it because maybe someone like me needs to hear it. I grew up in a small town near the mountains. The winters were cold, with snow on the trees and ice on the roads. In spring, flowers grew everywhere, and the wind smelled sweet. Our house was small but warm. It had one floor, 2 bedrooms, and a small kitchen. It was full of love. My parents were Julia and Mark. My mum worked in a bakery. Every morning she made bread, cakes, and cookies. She always came home smelling like sugar. My dad fixed cars. His hands were rough, but his hugs were gentle. They were simple and kind people. I always believed I was their daughter. No one told me anything else. I never asked. I looked like them. My brown hair was like my mom's. My blue eyes were like my dad's. We laughed together, played games, and had dinner at the same table every evening. I had toys, books, and warm clothes. My room had a soft bed with blue blankets. My mum sang to me when I was sick. My dad read stories to me every night. He called me sunshine and kissed my forehead before I went to sleep. On weekends, we went to the park or walked by the river. We didn't have a lot of money, but we were happy. We had movie nights with popcorn and pancakes on Sundays. I thought my life was perfect. I thought all children lived the same way. I never knew there was anything different about me. I never wondered why there were no baby pictures of me in the house. I didn't ask why my parents looked older than the other parents at school. But everything changed when I turned 13. It was a cold November afternoon. The sky was grey and the wind was strong. I was doing homework in my room when my Aunt Lisa came to visit. She was my dad's sister. She had a loud voice and talked a lot. She and my mom were drinking tea in the kitchen. I came downstairs to get some water. I stopped near the kitchen door. I didn't mean to listen, but I heard my name. Lisa said, "Amelia doesn't know she's adopted." My heart started beating fast. My mom said, "No, not yet. We want to wait. She's only 13. My aunt said, "She will find out one day." My hands were shaking. I didn't move. I just listened. Lisa said, "She came from a woman in the city. Her birth mother gave her away. Julia and Mark raised her like their own." I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I ran upstairs and closed the door. I sat on my bed and stared at the wall. I cried. I cried a lot. That night, I didn't sleep. My pillow was wet with tears. I didn't want to see my parents in the morning, but when the sun came up, I went to the kitchen like always. My mum was making toast. My dad was reading the newspaper. They looked normal, but I felt different. I looked at my mom and asked, "Am I adopted?" She turned to me and her eyes were soft. She said, "Yes, sweetheart, you are. But we love you more than anything." My heart broke. "You lied to me," I said. "You're not my real parents." My dad put the paper down. He didn't get angry. He looked sad. He came to me and put his hand on my shoulder. "We didn't want to hurt you," he said. "We were going to tell you one day, but we didn't know when." "I want to find my real parents," I said. "I want to go." My mom went to my room and packed a small bag. She put in my clothes, a scarf, a jacket, and some food. My dad gave me some money. They didn't stop me. They didn't say I couldn't leave. But their eyes were full of sadness. I didn't say thank you. I was too angry. I walked out of the house. I didn't know exactly where to go. but I remembered something my aunt had said before. My birth parents lived in a nearby city called Hillview. It was 2 hours away by bus. I walked to the bus stop. The cold wind hit my face. I sat on a bench and waited. I felt scared, but also angry. I didn't want to go back. When the bus came, I gave the driver the money and sat near the window. Trees passed by. Buildings passed by. My heart felt heavy like a big stone. When I got off the bus, I walked to the address I had written in my notebook. I had heard it once when my aunt was talking. I didn't know if it was still correct. The houses looked old and small. I walked slowly, holding my bag tight. When I found the house, I stood in front of the door for a long time. Then I knocked. A woman opened the door. She had grey hair and a tired face. She looked at me with small eyes. She didn't say anything. Then a man came. His face was thin and his shirt had a hole. He looked at me for a moment. "Amelia?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "I think I'm your daughter." He didn't smile. He didn't open his arms. He didn't look happy. Then another person came to the door. A teenage boy. He was older than me. He looked angry. "Why are you here?" he said. "We don't have room. We don't have food for more people." I looked at the man again. He said, "I'm your birth father." Then he said, "Life is hard here. We don't have much. My wife is not kind. We don't have space. I'm sorry, Amelia. I can't help you." It felt like someone hit me in the chest. I wanted to cry, but I held it in. My voice couldn't come out. My legs felt weak. I turned around and walked away. No one stopped me. No one said my name. No one asked if I had eaten or where I would sleep. I walked until I found a bench near the river. The water was dark and the air was cold. I sat there with my small bag. I felt alone. I felt empty. I thought, maybe no one wants me. Maybe no one truly loves me. I looked at the river. I thought, maybe if I jump in, everything will stop. The pain, the cold, the sadness. But something inside me said, "Don't do it." I took out my phone with shaking hands. I sent a message to my adoptive mother, "Please help me. I want to come home. If you don't help me, I will jump into the river." I sat there, my heart beating fast. I kept looking at the phone. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I started crying. I thought they didn't care. Then the phone made a sound. A message came in. It said, "We will send the money now. Please wait. Please don't do anything bad. We love you. Please come home." I cried harder. I felt something warm in my heart. A little bit of hope. Before I share the rest of my story, I want to ask you something. Where are you listening from? It gives me strength to know someone is hearing my words. Someone who understands me. Please tell me in the comments. I would really love to know. I waited at the bench by the river. The wind was cold. The sky was dark. My fingers were frozen, but I kept holding my phone. I kept reading my mom's message again and again. "We will send the money now. Please wait. Please don't do anything bad. We love you. Please come home." That message gave me hope. It was small, but it was enough. I waited 2 more hours. My feet hurt. My stomach was empty. I hadn't eaten all day, but I didn't care. I just waited for the money. When I got a message from the bank, I stood up and walked to the nearest bus station. I had just enough for 1 ticket. I bought it and sat down to wait. The woman at the counter gave me a small smile. She asked if I was okay. I didn't answer. When the bus came, I sat by the window again. It was night now. The roads were quiet. The bus moved slowly. I looked outside. but I didn't really see anything. I was thinking about Julia and Mark. I was thinking about their faces when I shouted at them. I was thinking about how I left without saying goodbye. I reached my town around midnight. It was cold and quiet. No cars, no people, just dark streets and empty sidewalks. I walked to the house. I stood outside for a moment. The light was on in the living room. I took a deep breath and opened the door. My mum was sitting on the couch. My dad was by the window. When they saw me, they didn't ask anything. They didn't shout. My mum stood and came to me. She hugged me tightly. My dad took the bag from my hand. He put it down and touched my shoulder. They didn't say a word. I didn't speak either. We just stood there. Then my mum said, "Come sit down. You must be cold." She gave me a warm blanket. My dad made tea. They gave me food, hot soup and bread. I didn't talk. I just ate slowly. They sat near me and waited. After eating, I went to my room. Everything looked the same. My bed, my books, my blue blanket. It felt like I had never left, but I felt different. I lay down and looked at the ceiling. I didn't sleep. I thought about everything. I thought about my birth parents. I thought about the cold house. I thought about my angry brother. I remembered their faces. They didn't smile. They didn't want me. Then I thought about my real life. My real parents. The ones who raised me. The ones who stayed awake waiting for my message. The ones who sent money without asking questions. I felt sorry. I felt ashamed. My chest hurt like a heavy stone. In the morning, my mom came into my room. She had a cup of tea in her hands. She didn't say anything. She placed the cup near my bed and sat beside me. Her hands were warm. She looked at me. I looked at her. I whispered, "I'm sorry." She touched my hair gently. "You are our daughter," she said. "Forever." I started crying. I cried like a little child. She didn't stop me. She just held me close. "Why didn't you tell me the truth?" I asked. "We wanted to tell you when you were older," she said. "We were afraid. We didn't want to lose you. We didn't want to hurt you." I didn't say anything, but in my heart, I understood. They weren't perfect, but their love was real. They gave me everything they could. They didn't carry me in the womb, but they carried me in their hearts. That day, my father came home from work early. He brought flowers. He smiled when he saw me. "Welcome home, princess," he said. "Welcome home, princess." That word made me cry again. He used to call me that when I was a little girl. I remembered the games we played, how he pushed me on the swing, how he fixed my bike. In that moment, I knew I was truly loved. Days passed slowly. My parents didn't ask me anything. They didn't talk about what had happened. They just showed me care and love. I helped my mom in the kitchen. We baked cookies together. I cleaned the living room and folded my clothes. I started going to school again. My teachers were happy to see me. My friends asked, "Where were you?" But I didn't tell them the whole story. I just said, I wasn't feeling well. That story was mine. The pain was mine. And so was the love. One evening, I was helping my mom wash the dishes. I looked at her and asked, "Can I call you Mom again?" She stopped and looked at me. Her eyes were full of tears. "You never stopped calling me Mom," she said. "Even when you were gone, you were still our daughter." After that, something changed in the house. The air felt warmer. The silence was softer. The rooms felt full again. We didn't talk about the river. We didn't talk about the house I visited. We didn't talk about the angry words or the tears. We just looked forward. We went to the market together. My father fixed the lamp in my room. My mother bought my favorite cereal. We watched a funny movie and laughed. One Saturday, We made a big breakfast, pancakes, eggs, juice, and fruit. My mother said, "Let's make this a new Saturday rule." I smiled. I liked that. At school, I started to smile more. I did my homework. I joined a book club. I read stories about girls who got lost and found their way again. I felt like those stories were about me. I knew I would never forget what happened. I would never forget the day I left or the night by the river. But I also knew that I had come back. I had come home. My parents never said, "We told you so." They didn't blame me. They just loved me. And that love was stronger than blood. That love was stronger than pain. One day, my father was fixing the car. I sat near him. He gave me a small tool and said, "Want to help?" I laughed. "I don't know how." "You'll learn," he said. "One day you'll know more than me." I looked at him and smiled. I felt proud. That evening, my mother gave me an old photo album. Inside were pictures of me, laughing, sleeping, playing. "You are part of every memory," she said. "You've always been here." I turned the pages. I saw baby pictures. I saw birthdays, holidays, snowmen, beach trips. I saw love in every photo. That night, I slept well for the first time in weeks. My heart felt calm. Many years have passed since then. I'm now 25 years old. I still live in the same town where I grew up. My life looks different now, but in many ways it feels the same. I finished school and went to college. I studied to become a nurse. I wanted to help people. I wanted to care for others the way my parents cared for me. Now I work at a small clinic. I see people every day, young and old, rich and poor. I try to listen to their pain. I try to be kind, like my mother. I try to be strong, like my father. I still live close to them. They are older now. My father has grey hair. His hands move slower when he fixes things. My mother walks more carefully. She takes more rest during the day. But in my heart, they are still the same. Every weekend, I visit them. I help with cleaning. I cook their favorite meals. I take my mother to the doctor. I drive my father to the market. We sit together in the evening, drink tea, and talk about simple things, weather, neighbors, funny TV shows. Sometimes we sit in silence. And that silence feels warm. We don't need to talk all the time. We just need to be together. We never talked much about the day I left. We never talked about the river, the house in the city, or the words I said in anger. My parents never asked me to explain. They never made me feel bad. But in my heart, I always remember. I remember standing in front of that cold house. I remember hearing, "We don't have space." I remember the empty feeling in my chest. And then I remember the warm soup, the soft blanket, the quiet hug. That's the part I hold on to. Sometimes I think about my birth family. I don't hate them. I don't love them either. I understand now that some people cannot give what they don't have. They didn't have peace. They didn't have kindness. They didn't have space in their hearts. They were a chapter in my life, but not the whole story. My real story is here, with Julia and Mark, the parents who stayed, the parents who chose me, the parents who loved me, even when I pushed them away. They didn't have to take me in. They didn't have to give me a home, but they did. They gave me birthday parties, help with school, hugs after bad dreams, and a place to feel safe. They gave me laughter on quiet nights and comfort during hard days. I remember once, during a storm, I was scared. I was 10 years old. The thunder was loud and I cried in bed. My father came in with a flashlight and a big blanket. He lay next to me and told me silly stories until I fell asleep. I never forgot that night. I remember my mother holding my hand during my first school play. I was nervous. She smiled and said, "Just look at me, and you'll be fine." These are the things that made me who I am. Love is not always about who gave birth to you. Love is about who gives you a home. Love is about the people who stay with you, even when things are hard. Love is about someone who waits for your message late at night. It's about someone who sends you help without asking why. A real parent is someone who wakes up in the night when you cry. Someone who packs your lunch every day. Someone who teaches you how to ride a bike. Someone who forgives you when you hurt them. I hurt my parents the day I left. I didn't say thank you. I shouted at them. I made them cry, but they still welcomed me home. They didn't ask me to be perfect. They just wanted me back. Sometimes at night, I still think about that time. I remember sitting by the river. I remember how close I was to losing everything. But I didn't lose it because two people chose to love me. And that love saved me. Now I keep a small notebook. Inside, I write down my feelings. I write about memories. I write the lessons I have learned. One page says, "You don't have to be born into a family to belong in one." Another page says, "Kindness speaks louder than words." And one page says, "Even if you feel lost, someone is waiting for you to come home." Sometimes I look in the mirror and think about the scared 13-year-old girl, the girl who ran away to find something she already had. She didn't know it back then, but now she does. She was always loved. She was never truly alone. She just needed time to see it. Now I am stronger. My heart still remembers the pain, but it also remembers the healing. I smile more. I love more. I forgive faster. I don't ask why me anymore, because I now understand. My story was never broken. It just had different paths. It had both dark times and bright ones. But most of all, it had love. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, I hope you remember this. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Somewhere, someone loves you. Maybe they don't say it loudly, but they love you deeply. And sometimes that is enough. This is my story, and I am proud of it. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Your words may help someone else feel less alone. And remember, more emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon, so make sure to subscribe or follow for the next one.